silent meditation for 25 minutes. And then if that will done, it's actually chanting. This is what you hear about okay. That's great. It's okay. Yeah, great. Okay. Mind calm, body at ease, breathing quiet, sentiment benevolent. Dharma friends, sitting still in vital silence, wanting nothing, we practice eco-Buddhism together. The sound of the temple bell booms for all to cease from conflict. May the way of Buddha usher in the dawn of non-violent global village forever. Here is the after sound of the bell. Thunder of silence, light after Dharma rain. Amora Varochana Mahapuja Manipadma Jivala Pravartaya
Please stand. So welcome to our special service today. we will be honoring precept takers and a recent graduate from our training program. And so every week we begin with taking of the 3 refuges. Please, in the spirit of this special celebration, throw your voice in as best you can. We will first take refuge in Buddha, Dharma, Sangha in Sino-Korean, and then in English. In preparation, let's just take a moment and feel our feet connected to the earth beneath us. Taking a nice deep breath, feeling the presence of each other in the room, and then facing toward the altar with our hands together in this gesture we call Hapchang, right and left sides of the body joined together. And now in English, please repeat after me. I go for refuge to the Buddha.
I go for refuge to the Buddha.
My deeply awakened mind.
My deeply awakened mind.
Which must be cultivated to be known fully.
Which must be cultivated to be known fully.
I go for refuge to the Dharma.
I go for refuge to the Dharma.
Truth manifesting everywhere,
Truth manifesting everywhere,
which must be cultivated to be known fully.
which must be cultivated to be known fully.
I go for refuge to the Sangha,
I go for refuge to the Sangha,
deep friendships and interconnections of all beings,
deep friendships and interconnections of all beings,
which must be cultivated to be known fully.
which must be cultivated to be known fully.
Please be seated. So good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Zen Buddhist Temple, especially if this is your very first time here. As I said, today is a special day because we are honoring a deepening practice of members of our Sangha. So this Sangha, this temple, all Buddhist temples, the journey is one of continuing to deepen our practice. And so you begin perhaps by coming to public service like this and being exposed to the teachings and starting to develop friendships of the Sangha members who come here. And then perhaps you take a meditation class to learn methods of sitting, and then membership, making a different level of commitment. Somewhere along the line, you may wish to join a study group. Precept study is one of the very special study groups that we have, which involves us looking deeply at the moral guidelines of Buddhism. And once a year, then we offer a special precepts taking ceremony for those who want to commit to this path. And then after precepts, we have training programs for those who are interested in becoming leaders and teachers within our Sangha. So that's sort of an outline of what the path is like. So today we're going to celebrate precepts. In July, we had a retreat here in Ann Arbor. People came from all of our temples, from Toronto, from Chicago, from Mexico City, from New York, from Springwind Farm, and of course this temple. And after that retreat, we had a precept taking ceremony for all of those at all of our temples who had completed this study program. We also had a precept taking ceremony at Peace Camp because some of our Peace Campers were part of this journey. And today it's our privilege to introduce the new precept ceremony to the Sangha. Before we do that, however, we want to formally, officially give a precept to one of our precept takers who was unable to be present with us at those other ceremonies. So I would like to ask Stevie to come and sit on the special cushion.
The way of the Buddhist. Buddhism teaches gentleness, compassion, serenity, wisdom, love of nature, and realization of the true nature of all beings. Buddhism prevails when these values are upheld and practiced. Therefore, cultivate your body, mind, and speech through your Buddhist practice of prostrations, meditation, chanting, and sutra reading, so that you will become a living instrument for the Dharma, the teachings of Buddhism. Cultivation of your body, mind, and speech will, without fail, lead you to the realization of the three jewels of Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. That is, peace, love, and happiness. Your body-mind is Buddha Dharma. Your environment is the way. Walk and light the way and cultivate the Buddha field for all beings. Ultimately, there is no suffering, no sorrow, and no death. Be diligent. Do not neglect cultivation of the way of the Buddha. Attain freedom for the happiness of all beings and the peace of the world.
Now I would like to ask Magama to read the 8 precepts, which were the topic of study for precept taking.
8 precepts. I will not harm, but cherish all life. By keeping this precept, I will cultivate my seed of compassion. Therefore, I will be able to go forth on the Bodhisattva path. I will not take what is not given, but respect the things of others. By keeping this precept, I will cultivate my seed of virtue. Therefore, I will be able to go forth on the Bodhisattva path. I will not engage in sexual misconduct, but practice purity of mind and self-restraint. By keeping this precept, I will cultivate my seed of purity. Therefore, I will be able to go forth on the Bodhisattva path. I will not lie, but speak the truth. By keeping this precept, I will cultivate my seed of truth. Therefore, I will be able to go forth on the Bodhisattva path. I will not involve myself in the trade of liquors and drugs which confuse or weaken the mind, but keep my mind calm and clear. By keeping this precept, I will cultivate my seed of wisdom. Therefore, I will be able to go forth on the Bodhisattva path. I will not speak of the misdeeds of others, but try to understand them with sympathy. By keeping this precept, I will cultivate my seed of friendship. Therefore, I will be able to go forth on the Bodhisattva path. I will not praise myself nor condemn others. By keeping this precept, I will cultivate my seed of respect. Therefore, I will be able to go forth on the Bodhisattva path. I will not withhold my aid, material or spiritual, but give freely of myself wherever there is need. By keeping this precept, I will cultivate my seed of wealth and generosity. Therefore, I will be able to go forth on the Bodhisattva path.
So these 8 precepts, Makamak, you may have read 1 or 2 more. But we ask the precept class to study the 8 precepts. So I will read them again, and then I ask Stevie, our precept taker, to after each, she will respond to a question I will ask. Okay. 8 precepts. Number 1, I resolve to abstain from doing harm, but to cherish all life. Stevie, will you embrace this precept and try to keep it in your life? 2, I resolve to abstain from taking what is not given, but to respect the things of others. Will you resolve to try to keep this precept?
Yes.
3, I resolve to abstain from engaging in sexual misconduct, but to practice purity of mind and self-restraint. Will you try to keep this precept?
Yes.
4, I resolve to abstain from lying, but to speak the truth. Will you try to keep this precept?
Yes.
5, I resolve to abstain from partaking in the production and trading of firearms and chemical poisons. Will you endeavor to keep this precept? 6, I resolve to abstain from wasting, but to conserve energy and natural resources. Will you resolve to keep this precept?
Yes.
7, I resolve to abstain from harboring enmity against the wrongs of others, but to promote peace and justice through non-violent means. Will you try to keep this precept?
Yes.
Number 8, I resolve to abstain from clinging to things that belong to me, but to practice generosity and the joy of sharing. Will you try to keep this precept? So having taken these precepts, we are going to offer you now a Buddhist name as well as some special beads that you can keep in your practice. So every precept family has a common root to their name. This year, the common part of the name is Il, I-L, which means one. This is almost an extension of last year's precept family because they are also Ills. So, Stevie Ada Clark, were you born January 18th, 1988 at White Sands Desert, New Mexico? Mindful of the 3 refuges and 8 precepts that you have taken, I humbly offer you the Buddhist name Ili, I-L-L-I. Say that.
I-L-L-I, Ili.
Ili. And it means one principle, all inclusive. So wonderful, auspicious name to receive. So, conferring this through all of our teachers, including Haji Sinan and Donna Sinan. Special. Now, if you would stand and face the Sangha, and then I would ask all other members of the Il family who just received their precepts to stand as well. So what we would like is for each of the Ils present to say your name and please indicate what it means.
Ilgi, and I think it means one who's always energetic and positive.
Ilsa, and it means single event.
Ilan, sound of Dharma.
There are other members of the ill family who you will meet over time. At this point, we'd like now to offer, in order to help fully welcome and embrace our new precept takers, to offer some wisdom from members of their Sangha and from others who have taken precepts. So just raise your hand if you have wisdom to offer.
Good morning, beautiful precept takers. My name is Tongsan. I took precepts in 1999. I'm a member of the San family. My syllable is at the end, just to keep me on my toes, I guess. It means East Mountain. And the precepts are such a marvelous, they just never end, and they're so beautiful. They really are. And the thing that has been most helpful to me is something that I learned in the training program last year. We were encouraged, yes, the precepts continue. It's not just one and done. And so precept study is part of our training in the seminary. And we were urged last year to think about the precepts as trainings. And that was really powerful to me and really helpful, because it reminds me that when I fall down, it's not because I'm evil and bad and I can't get on the path anymore. So, oh yeah, right, those precepts are trainings. They're not boxes that I have to fit myself into. They're trainings. And that's been really helpful to me, and I wanted to share it with you.
Hello, I'm Samoon. Met you a couple of times at least. Nice to see you guys here, and especially the person, Illy, Steve. Yeah. My wisdom to impart to you is that I think the strength of the precepts is that we kind of like have a bi-directional understanding of it. Like, you keep your precepts for other people, and at the same time, you realize that they're keeping that for you, and it really makes for a better world. And also, I often think about the first precept as being kind of like the capstone of all of them, because they're all included within. And, you know, it's another thing like where you're kind of like working on yourself, but at the same time, you're benefiting yourself because you're not causing the other person to suffer either. And that leads to all the other precepts like, you know, conserving natural resources and promoting peace and justice. Congratulations. Oh, my name is translation of Sramana, S-R-M-N-A, and there are people at the time of the Buddha that were Sramanas that would go off into the woods and meditate and come to kind of understand their like interconnection with everything through that vehicle.
Hello. My name is Yom Buk, which means remember the Dharma. I suppose, I don't know kind of if it counts as wisdom per se, but one thing I've learned about walking the path with respect to the precepts is that, in a sense, the precepts are sort of like the lines painted on the road. They are there to sort of help keep us sort of in our lane, as it were. We're trying to get down the path where we're going. It's really important that we stay in our lane. We're not running other cars off the road. We're not taking illegal right turns and all that sort of thing. The precepts are there in a sense because we're not the only ones on this path. If we're going to make it, if we're all going to make it, we have to play nice. Also, in another sense, the paint on the road, on the path is the path. In a sense, the paint is part of what makes it what it is. It's part of what makes it sort of intelligible to our discerning mind. And yet, at the same time, you've got things like dirt roads that don't have any markers on them, where there's still paths. And you've also got trails through the woods. Those are still paths. Like the path, there, in a sense, there isn't any place that you can put your foot that is not the road. And yet, these markings that we put down for ourselves just gives that little extra assurance that we're going the right way. So to respect them, to follow them, to not be defined by them, but to just kind of enjoy the journey.
Good morning. My name is Iljan, and it means before meditation. I've determined that it means before everything. There's like 3 different meanings to our names, if I remember correctly, and that one is like think before everything that I do. We will never successfully keep all of the precepts. Never capable of doing that. And for the second time, I've heard that number 1 is all encompassing and the most important one. And for me, the only precept I cannot fail at is the 5th precept. Because if I fail at the 5th precept, then I can't keep the 1st or any of the other precepts. The 5th precept, depending on the version read, is basically not to engage in the production of chemical poisons and their distributions, which includes hallucinogenics, alcohol, et cetera, et cetera. So that's the only one I have to keep perfectly.
So I'll say a few words. First, my wisdom, I guess, that I would offer. I think I actually talked about this a few weeks ago, but I'll repeat myself. And that is, I think sort of the magic of receiving the Dharma name is that this is kind of an invitation to discover who this Dharma person is, because there's something quite powerful in a name, and that it invites you to discover this new way of being in the world. And so for that, I would just say to just allow yourself to be surprised, because you might find that who you thought you were and all the habits that make up your personality are just one little slice, and there's this whole other capacity that you all have. And that can be really powerful. And then I would invite Mo Samsam to speak as well, but we had the wonderful privilege of working with this group of precept takers as the facilitators of the discussion group. And I guess, it's always a special process to see people really try to wrestle with these teachings and to apply them to their daily lives. And I feel like in particular, the group this year was just really powerful in the sense of bringing kind of the twin lights, I guess, of precept study. And one is clear seeing, and I think the other one is boundless love, applied in kind of combination. Because the work that we're doing can be pretty eye-opening when we start to really pay attention to how we're engaging in the world and seeing if we're living up to the things that we've said are most important to us. And so I was really inspired by your sincere commitments, and I encourage you to keep applying those two lights of clear seeing and boundless love, because it's a dynamite combination. Mosamsa, did you want to come up, or I can bring you the microphone? Come on up.
Good morning, dear precept takers. I don't know that I have anything new to add, but to reiterate what John has said, and to invite those of you who are just contemplating taking the precepts not to be overwhelmed by the enormity of the task. I do think it's a process of becoming ever more sensitive to the ways in which we could cause harm to ourselves and others, and do cause harm to ourselves and others. But I think simultaneously, as Deborah said, this boundless love, a sense of compassion for ourselves as we experience shame and guilt ever more acutely as we become more and more aware of our thoughts, our minds, our actions, our feelings, but holding it gently with this powerful compassion. We worked with a new text this year that really emphasized the importance of recognizing how being a harmer is just part of our nature, part of our one nature, alongside our radiant suchness, Buddha nature, and holding the two together. I liked this quote, so I'll end with this. This is from Chan Master Shenman. He was a Taiwanese master who died relatively recently, and so he said, having vows to break is the Bodhisattva path, but not having vows to break is a non-Buddhist path.
Thank you so much. I'm inspired by all of your wisdom, and heartfelt congratulations to our precept takers. I find that in working with precepts, it's important not to do it alone. So remember that you have this Sangha, and please can you continue to come and be with us, and as we learn together, as we grow together. So congratulations. And now I would like to ask Pamal, Michael Sullivan, to come to the front here. Nose to nose. Is that okay? Okay. So Pamal Michael Sullivan has completed our Dharma Guardian training program. So I mentioned earlier that as we go further down the path, there are these opportunities to deepen our study. So the Dharma Guardian program is an 18-month to 2-year program that involves coming to the temple once a month to meet with other training students. It involves home practice. It involves, learning some of our rituals and ceremonies so that he's now in a position to lead groups when we ask him to lead groups and to engage with the Sangha in a deeper way. So the Dharma Guardian program is oriented around the 6 right livelihood guidelines. And so part of the practice, part of the daily practice is to do a journal and reflect upon these 6 right livelihood guidelines. So they are, number 1, consume mindfully. Number 2, pause, breathe, listen. Number 3, practice gratitude. Number 4, cultivate compassion and loving kindness. Number 5, discover wisdom. And number 6, accept constant change. We have this special Dharma Guardian certificate. Signed by Venerable Haji Sunan, offered this day, August 27th, 2023, recognizing Pamal Michael Sullivan as a completion of this special training program. And this is what it looks like. It can be shared a bit later. And we also have a very special pin. So it is a silver lotus leaf. Quite beautiful. Try to pin it on well so that my sterling does not fall off. So now if you would stand, Pamal, and just face the Sangha.
I'm not a young man.
Yeah. So he'll offer us a few words of wisdom in a moment, but let's congratulate Pamal. So now, because he has this special training and the opportunity to be a bit more of a leader, we ask him to offer a description or to share about his experience as a Dharma Guardian. So if you want to sit here and give you the microphone, you sit here if you can. Is that okay? Or would you prefer a chair? Okay.
You're wired, tell the truth.
I'm wired. Good morning. I began attending this 10 o'clock service in 2019. And it came on a regular basis every Sunday, and then COVID hit, and so our whole process changed. I attended meetings here at the temple, did some work practice, worked in the yard and helped where I could, took the meditation course, and then I was invited to participate in the Dharma Guardian program. During that process, as we've been talking about, I took the precepts. And at that time, I was given the name Pamal, P-A-M-A-L. Pamal literally means foam, F-O-A-M, like that gooey stuff floating down the river. And when I was given the name, I was actually, there was a little laughter. And I was told there are a number of meanings to the word. And so the literal meaning is foam. Spend some time finding out what your name means. And I did. So then I was invited into the Dharma Guardian program. I said, all right, I've got two more words. Dharma and Guardian. What am I guarding? Against whom? Why? What is my weapon? Am I on guard? And after a while, I realized that word has a different meaning also. It just means be alert, at least as I've interpreted it myself. Be on guard. So then the other word is Dharma. And Dharma has a bunch of meanings also. It can be used in a lot of different ways. At one level, Dharma means teaching, scripture. We have lots of books with scriptures, suttas in them. It can also mean the way of Buddha. It can also be used as truth. Dharma is truth. All right, so be mindful, be aware of the truth. All right, so what is truth? Some things are true, some things are untrue. Some things are neither true or untrue. Some things are both. So those were questions. I figured, well, that can't work. It can't work that way. So I returned to the name, and one of my understandings is foam, and I just visual. Have you ever seen foam in the water? I mean, you've seen foam in your bathtub, you've seen foam on a lake, you've seen foam different places. You've ever seen foam at a sewage outlet? I mean, it comes in all different shapes and colors and smells. And I realize that's pretty true for me too. At different times of my life. But another meaning for the word is the notion of impermanence. I'm not always the same. And sometimes I'm not the same at the same time. What you think you are seeing in your truth of me is different than what your truth of me might be. And I can't control that. Another level of my name has to do with truth. What is my truth? One of the teachings is the Buddha is giving this teaching, and he says, suppose there was this glob of foam floating down the river. And then he goes on from there. Somebody went out and inspected it. So I went out and inspected it, and I came up with some of the things I've mentioned. And I also realized it was filled with a lot of bubbles that were popping, so it didn't always stay. So what was the truth of the phone? Well, it kept changing. It was important. But it seemed to keep going, so it was coming from someplace. And so I used that as a way of, that was my journey. And other people have different ways here in the Sangha and in Buddhism on discovering their own journey as we go through this. And we do it together. The end, we have a prayer, 4 great vows. The last lines in the 4 great vows are, the way of Buddha is everyday life, and everyday life is the way of Buddha. And so that became the summary of me after a year and a half or 2 years in the Dharma Guardian program. The summary for me and the wisdom that I got was, be mindful at all times of what's going on with me. How do I feel? What do I think about you just because of your tattoo or your glasses or the color of your face or whatever it might be? What is true about that? How do I feel physically? Right now my ankle hurts. I need to be careful it doesn't distract me. So I say, my ankle hurts, don't get distracted. Be mindful of that. And that's true throughout my life. The hardest, what were the 8 things? What was the title of those that you read?
The 6 right livelihoods.
Right livelihoods. So I compulsively buy things. And that's the first one I shouldn't do. Right? So I have to be very mindful every moment of my life on the precepts, the right livelihoods, and an awful lot of other things that we give homage to in order to live my truth. And that's all I can control. I can't spread the truth in the world. I can't prophesize. I can't convince somebody else of what the truth is. But I can live my truth. And in living my truth, I contribute that to the soup. You know, I'm putting fresh food in the soup instead of stale, gummy, green, smelly foam. So I'm grateful for having the opportunity to participate in the Dharma Guardian program. I'm grateful to my teachers and those that helped me on that path. And I'm grateful for the opportunity to be part of this temple. Thank you.
So thank you for being part of the soup.
You're still wired.
Oh, I'm still fine.
Okay, so we're going to do a little special chanting together as our service begins to come to a close. So we will be chanting, I think, Sugamuni Bul. Let me make sure. Yes. Sugamuni Bul, which is basically the name of the historical Buddha. So please join in as best you can.
Sangha
And now I invite you to join me in the 3 wows of Buddhism, the 3 wows of Buddhist life. Buddhists are a bunch of energetic people.
Wow!
Buddhists are a bunch of happy people.
Wow!
Buddhists are a bunch of helpful people.
Wow! Wow! Wow!
Thank you for being here today.
Thank you.
Let's have a few announcements.
Oh, yes.
Wow!
Okay. Good morning, everybody. We're so glad that you could join us today for this special service. Congratulations to all the Ill family. Congratulations, Illy. Stevie, you have a very auspicious name. You share your name with some outstanding coffee from Trieste. And we will do our best to support you in upholding the precepts. And when we do this, we will try not to sneak in any additional precepts. I was reading the first 8 of the 10 Bodhisattva precepts, and the last 3 of those are different. So we realize that you're not getting ordained yet. We'll give you another year for that. Okay, so welcome to all the new people that are here. And if you have questions, you can ask any of us wearing the gray after the service, and we will try to answer your questions. We invite you to pick up a copy of our email bulletin and calendar, or pick up a copy of our calendar and sign if you'd like to receive our weekly email bulletin to find out about things going on at the temple. Couple of highlights. The introductory meditation course is offered on 5 consecutive Thursday evenings. We do this several times a year. So the next round of introductory meditation course begins on September 7th, and that runs from 6:30 to 8 o'clock p.m. We also offer the same material in an overnight, like one overnight course, which is a beginner's Zen retreat. And that will be held on Friday, September 15th from 7 p.m. until Saturday, September 16th at noon. So if you're interested in either one of those courses, there are sign-up sheets on the table in the entrance hall. Also, yoga classes resume now that we're back in the fall. The yoga classes are held on Tuesday evenings from 6:30 to 8 o'clock p.m. So that will begin on September 5th. There's a sign-up sheet if you're interested in yoga. The family services are starting up again. So if you'd like to bring your kids and they can learn a little bit about Zen, Those family services are held on the second Sunday of each month at 10 a.m. And so Sunday, September 10th will be the next one. For those of you participating in the Ulambana service today, we will have that here in this room starting at noon. And if you would like to learn more about becoming a member of the Zen Buddhist Temple, we'll be holding an information session with questions and answers on Sunday, September 17th at 3 p.m. And so there's a sign-up sheet if you're interested in that, if you'd like to get some more information. Today, Together Action will be led by Samun, and that will be gardening in the back. So if you can stick around for 15 minutes and help out in the garden, it's a nice way to meet some other members of the Sangha. And please help move the mats and cushions to set up for the Ulambana service. We're going to be moving the mats and cushions on this side, we're going to be moving them to the back corner over there. And on this side, we'll be moving them up on the stage. There's some room on the stage there near the steps. We're going to move all of them today, yeah, because we're going to bring some chairs upstairs as well. Groups meeting today, Recovery Dharma.
Recovery Dharma will be meeting at noon in the historic temple, in the library. And if you're coming for the first time, this is in the temple, please make sure you take your shoes off.
Okay. And the temple is supported entirely by your kind donations of time and money. There's a fishbowl for monetary donations. And if you'd like to volunteer your time, we have a work session on Saturdays at 3 p.m. from 3 to 5 p.m. So you're welcome to show up for that. Thank you.
Hey, thank you, Magama. So let's all stand and we'll end with 3 formal vows.